going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing the preview of Manchester City's Champions League match at home at the Etohad Stadium, where we're taking on RB Leipzig. Before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and check out my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 100 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this match. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, BetMate, who are sponsoring all my previews for the season. This one no different. They're running a UEFA Champions League Tuesday night special pot, £400 pot, paying up to the top 25 places, 120 quid for the winner, £5 to join. It's made up of RB Leipzig's match away from home here against Manchester City, Young Boys taking on Red Star, Feyenoord taking on Atletico Madrid, Barcelona taking on FC Porto, PSG taking on Newcastle, and AC Milan taking on Borussia Dortmund. You can select up to 2 players from each team for this pot. It's a free app to download. You can go and check it out. Links and details there in the description. It is available to anybody who is based in the UK and is aged 18 years old or over. If you use code JSGC10 on sign up, you'll get £10 in free bets, and you can use them free bets to join this pot for free. There's lots of other available pots that you can go and check out as well. Not just this pot, you've got both teams to score, your full-time results with lots of big prizes as well. It's a great app to go and check out, so do go and do so. Links and details there in the description. Finally, do remember, if you are going to gamble, do gamble responsibly, and when the fun stops, stop. So on to the match information for this game, taking place at the Etohad Stadium in a sold-out crowd. So kudos there to Manchester City, getting this one to be a sellout, considering City have won 4 games from 4 in the Champions League, already qualified for the last 16, and the only thing at stake here is both teams competing to try and finish first. Manchester City can mathematically get that done from this game. RB Leipzig, however, cannot. It's taking place for the Champions League match day number 5 in Group G, taking place on Tuesday 28th of November 2023, our last game in November. Kickoff time is at 8 PM GMT. Anyone going to the game, do enjoy yourself. If you want to watch this game in the UK, then the game is live on TNT Sports. So our opponents, RB Leipzig, formed in 2009. Some interesting facts about them. They are the most hated team in Germany. RB doesn't stand for Red Bull. It's a common misconception. It stands for Rasenball Sport Leipzig, is what RB stands for. They've finished the highest position that they've managed to get themselves in the Champions League was to the semi-final in 2020, and they're looking for that continuous improvement. And I think 5 out of the last 6 years, I think it is, RB Leipzig have made the Champions League when being in the Bundesliga, which is a fantastic achievement. So they're always a European team. They're always pushing in them top 4 places in the Bundesliga, which means they're a good team. And this season, no different. Head to the Bundesliga, currently find themselves in 5th place, just 1 point behind Borussia Dortmund, and it wouldn't surprise you if I was to tell you that RB Leipzig come the end of the season, finishing the top 4 and are back in the Champions League once again, getting themselves into the last 16 of the Champions League. Coincidentally, they went out last season to Manchester City. We drew away from home. They gave us a little bit of a headache in that first leg before we absolutely annihilated them at the Etihad, thanks to Erling Haaland bagging 5 goals and winning that game by 7-0. But still, I think RB Leipzig are a good team, led by manager Marco Rose. Currently find themselves 2nd in Group G. They've already qualified for the last 16 like Manchester City have. City are 3 points ahead of RB Leipzig. We beat them in Germany by 3-1. So at this moment in time, all we need to do is not lose this game. Draw this game, we go through in 1st place. Win this game, we go through in 1st place. We can even afford to lose this game as long as we finish on the same points as RB Leipzig, which means if we lose this game but we still have a better head-to-head, then Manchester City just need to match their result of whatever they do in their final game against Young Boys, with Manchester City being away from home against Red Star Belgrade. And I think Manchester City, the plan is finish first here so we can put a full squad rotation in place for that match in what is going to be a very busy December schedule. So we'll see. So that's where the Champions League stands. As I said, Leipzig currently find themselves 5th in the Bundesliga, just 1 point behind Borussia Dortmund in 4th place. Quite a bit behind 1st place. I don't think they'll be thinking about that. They'll be thinking about just trying to get into them top 4 places and trying to become a Champions League team for another season. Now, in terms of their form since playing Manchester City last, they've played 10 games, winning 5, losing 4 and drawing 1. They lost at the weekend in the build-up to this game. They took on Wolfsburg and lost away from home by 2-1. So their form has been a little bit inconsistent. That's in all competitions, by the way, them 10 results that Leipzig have had since facing Manchester City. In terms of danger men, Xavi Simons, the on-loan player from PSG's quality, is a great midfielder. He's got bags of potential. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do once more. I'm expecting to see Openda and Poulsen starting up top. They've got decent fullbacks as well. Henrichs, David Raum as well. Some decent fullbacks there. I think elsewhere in the squad, it's a little bit hit and miss, I think, for RB Leipzig. They've sold a lot of players in the summer. They've accumulated a lot of money, so a little bit of a rebuild job going on there. They do have players like Klostermann from the bench, decent player. Again, another fullback. Fabio Carvalho, on loan from Liverpool, has got quality as well. Could be an issue there for Manchester City if he comes off the bench. He's got pace to burn. Forsberg, decent midfielder. I'm expecting him to be starting in this game. However, RB Leipzig are plagued a little bit by injuries. 3 key players almost certainly missing this game. Orban, their centre-back, injured. Big blow that for RB Leipzig. Timo Werner, he could also miss out. Wasn't in the squad at the weekend against Wolfsburg. I don't think he's going to be in the squad for this game as well. And Dani Olmo, class player, he's still out injured. He's expected to be injured until the latter parts of December. So 3 fantastic players there missing for them. So my expected team for Leipzig, I'm expecting to start with a formation where they play a 4-2-2-2, where them 2 sitting in holding midfield can help out the defence, and the 2 in midfield can just kind of push further forward, and the fullbacks can get further forward and the defensive midfielders will drop into the gaps. It's a strange formation. You don't really see many Premier League teams playing with it, but it's worked well for Leipzig, so they're going to stick with that. So they'll go with Blaswich in goal, Henrichs on the right-hand side of defence, David Raum on the left-hand side, with Simakan and Lupa starting as their 2 centre-backs. And then in holding midfield, Haidara and Shalega, Forsberg and Simons further ahead of them, with Openda and Poulsen starting up top is what I'm expecting from RB Leipzig for this game. For Manchester City, we formed in 1894. We did form in 1880 under the name St. Mark's, and then Manchester City in 1894. We are the current treble winners here in England. We're the current Premier League champions. We've got 9 top division titles. We're the 7-time FA Cup winners, 8-time League Cup winners, 1-time European Super Cup winners, 1-time European Cup winners, and 1-time Champions League champions as well. We're led by manager Pep Guardiola. We are currently first in Group G in the Champions League, 3 points ahead of RB Leipzig, which means we just need to not lose this game and we go through to the last 16 in first place, and very much job done. And then we don't have to think about the Champions League again until February. We've done it with 1 game to spare, which means we can send the kids, if we wanted to Belgrade, in what's not an easy place to go to, a very hostile place. So the sooner we get the job done, the better. We put ourselves in a brilliant position. We've got 99% of the job done. We just need to turn up here, get a result, and then move on from there. Manchester City, in terms of our form, we've won every Champions League game so far this season. We're the current Champions League holders as well. So the Champions League, looking pretty good. In the Premier League, we were looking pretty good as well. We're, however, no longer first. We've dropped into second place after we dropped points away from home before the international break. Away from home against Chelsea by a score of 4-4, and then dropped points this weekend at home against Liverpool 1-0. We don't have to speak about that game anymore. It's important that we just move on. We weren't clinical in that game. Defensively against Chelsea, we weren't great, and improved that against Liverpool and stopped being clinical. We go from one end to the other. Hopefully we can find the right balance and get the job done. I think it's important to remember heading into this game, Manchester City do have some big Premier League games coming up over the next 8 days from this game. At the weekend against Tottenham Hotspur, and on the Wednesday night taking on Aston Villa away from home. 2 massive Premier League games there, and I wonder, City, if they'll have one eye on them big fixtures coming up, that they may choose to do a little bit of rotation with this team. And of course, we've just come back from an international break. We had to go full strength against Liverpool, so there may be a little bit of rest for 3 or 4 important players. I'll speak more about that in just one moment. In terms of the injury news, Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's going to be on course to come back at some point in the new year, so in January, which is fantastic news. Jack Grealish, Matheus Nunes weren't in the squad against Liverpool. I think that was down to illness. I don't know how well they are now, if they're going to be in the squad and they're going to be starting in this game. I presume so, but That remains to be seen. And Mateo Kovacic out for a couple more weeks for Manchester City as well, so looking a bit stretched in midfield. So I'm going to pop up my team prediction now. I think we're going to rotate the goalkeeper. I think we're going to see Stefan Ortega-Moreno starting in this game ahead of Ederson. Ederson did pick up an injury against Chelsea. He didn't travel on international duty, played a game against Liverpool, and I think Manchester City just going to want to rotate a little bit, because we rotated just after the last international break. Ortega-Moreno came in for a Premier League game and Ederson sat that one out. He's not had the rest, so I think he'll be given the rest here, and Ortega-Moreno will come in. Then going for a back three made up of Akanji, Dias and Gvardiol, which is going to give rest there for Nathan Ake, who's always only just come back from injury. Kyle Walker doesn't seem to be getting any rest at all for Manchester City, so while we're in a position that we can do so, I'd go with Akanji ahead of Kyle Walker and give him a rest so they're nice and fresh, him and Nathan Ake, for the game against Tottenham Hotspur at the weekend. Into midfield, I'm going with Rico Lewis to go alongside Kalvin Phillips. Rodri on the bench. Again, I'm just thinking about rotation. 3 or 4 key important players for City to be rotated. Kyle Walker, one of them. Rodri, the next. John Stones was on the bench against Liverpool, which was great to see. I wouldn't rule out him starting here for City to test to see how fit he is, and he could come in for maybe Kalvin Phillips, but I think it's about time Kalvin Phillips got some minutes for Manchester City whilst we're in a position that we can rotate our team. So I'd let John Stones sit this one out. Put him on from the bench, give him 30 minutes, see how he gets on. Further into midfield, I've gone with Matheus Nunes. If he's fit, he has to be starting in this game, in my opinion. And then elsewhere, is it going to be Grealish? Is it going to be Foden? What do you do? We could put Sergio Gomez in there. Jeremy Doku started the last game. I give him a rest. Julian Alvarez has come back from international duty with Argentina, trained for a day and then started against Liverpool. So Alvarez has to be the player, for me, that gets rotated. I'm resting Erling Haaland as well. I'm resting Bernardo Silva. I don't think there's going to be this much rest, by the way. This is just what I would do if I was in charge. I wouldn't rule out City going full strength. So I'm going with Jack Grealish to go into the middle, because I just don't see how he gets into Manchester City's starting 11 when it comes to being a winger. There might be the potential of him doing it, playing as the second striker, and that's a position I'd like to sample here. And if we're going to give rest to Erling Haaland, I'd like to see Oscar Bobb starting up top as well, because he's got pace to burn, he's clinical in front of goal, he's got a good finish on him, so I think there could be a little good partnership through the middle there with Jack Grealish and Oscar Bobb. Put Phil Foden on one wing, and I've gone with Sergio Gomez on the other, just to give the minutes and the full rest there. And I feel much better when I say the likes of Haaland, Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, Kyle Walker, Nathan Ake, Rodri, John Stones, 7 class players for Manchester City, Ederson as well. They all have a full rest and ready to go for 2 massive Premier League games, because there isn't going to be much rotation for City in December. So we need to take this opportunity here that we're in a position where we've already qualified for the last 16. And in my opinion, that team that I've gone with there is good enough to at least draw this game, in my honest opinion. So, my score prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for Manchester City, going with goals for Oscar Bobb and Phil Foden. In terms of my betting tips, I think it'll be a closer game than what people maybe think, unless City go with a full-strength team, grab a couple of early goals, kill the game off at half-time and take players off that way. Again, wouldn't rule that out. So I'm going for 30-plus booking points. No both teams to score, and if Phil Foden starts, I'm going with him any time. I did think he had a great game against Liverpool, so I'd like to see him starting here and see what he can do. Now, moving on to today's video sponsor, BetMate, the £400 pot, £5 entry fee. Links and details there in the description. Remember, use code JSGC10 on sign up for £10 in free bets, and you can use them free bets to join this pot for free, and you can select up to 2 players from each team. The pot code is FF-UCL-2811. The date 28th of November 2811. My team then, I'm going with Jan Oblak in goal for Atletico Madrid, who are away at Feyenoord. My defenders made up of Josko Gvardiol for Manchester City at home against Leipzig, and David Raumer Leipzig, who are away at Manchester City. Gone with the same theme in midfield, Phil Foden my vice captain, and I've gone with Xavi Simons as well for RB Leipzig taking on Manchester City. And then up top I've gone with Lewandowski for Barcelona, who are at home to FC Porto, and Mbappe of PSG, who are at home to Newcastle. On the bench, I've got Nick Pope and Newcastle. My defender Trippier as well, Newcastle away at PSG. And then in midfield on the bench, I've got Koke of Atletico Madrid away at Feyenoord. And finally, I've got Olivier Giroud of AC Milan, who are at home to Borussia Dortmund, is my team for this pot. Don't forget, I will be doing a live watch along for you guys of this game for you to enjoy. I'll have the link out to that later on this evening for you to go and set your reminders for. So I will see you for that. I'll be live 7:30 p.m. GMT tomorrow. So we'll see you for that. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget to like the video. 100 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. Do go and check out today's video sponsor as well, BetMate. Links and details there in the description. And I'll see you all for the live watch along tomorrow of this Champions League game between Manchester City and RB Leipzig, where it's a chance now, with us already in the last 16 of the Champions League, to seal it in first place and keep up our campaign to try and retain the Champions League trophy and become back-to-back Champions League winners. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.